I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a very great fighter. He's a very charismatic fighter. He's the biggest seller in the sport of all time. He's the biggest draw. But I think now he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather, I've heard, in boxing. I think it will happen. I know Floyd will never fight Conor in a mixed martial art fight, but Conor could fight Floyd in a boxing match. I don't think he's going to win. I do not think he's going to win at all, but I think he wants to do it. He's going to make a lot of money.
Everything. That's it. I hold no regrets. You know, if I'd done it again, what I would do differently is I'd have pressure fighters coming at me. Okay. In the camp, we had fighters in the Philly shell, similar to the style that he always fights, or fighters against the ropes, but never fighters. Well, we did have fighters coming forward, like with that style, the way he eventually went. But that was only in the early rounds. Early rounds, I'm eating guys alive there. It's when I get tired, that's when I need to bring in that fresh body who's going to sit on my chest and let shots fly. And if I'd done that alone would have made that the easiest fight of my life. Because make no mistake, Carl, up until like round 5, that was the easiest fight in my life. I could see everything he was throwing. I was cracking him easily. It was only when I started fading and he started leaning on me and started coming forward in that Mexican style that I started to fade, and that's it. So that's what I would do differently. I'd have people come pressure me when I'm tired instead of early. So.
Well, you're always pushing the boundaries with the training and the techniques that you're using. You're at the UFC High Performance Center. You know, we saw you sort of running underwater on treadmills, doing all this crazy stuff. Is there anything from this training camp that you can take into your UFC training camps now, sort of new skills that you learn?
I built an incredible engine. Make no mistake about that. Although 30 minutes is, I went 25 minutes. I got into the best shape of my life, so I'm just going to keep going with it, And then also know that, like in this camp, it was like round 1 to 8 was the fight, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 was my friends, more people I'm comfortable with, just to get to the 12th round, because I had to get to the 12th round in sparring comfortably and safely. And if I'd done it too early, I could have picked up an injury, lost out on the fight, lost out on the whole event, and hampered everything. So that was the goal. This time, I'd probably switch it around. I'd have round 1 to 8 heavy, real competitive, and then I just have a heavier opponent on me, putting the pressure for the last 4 rounds, and I just have to survive in there. And I honestly, truly feel if I'd have done that, I would have been laughing in that fight. But look, you live and learn. That's what we say. You don't lose. You either win or you learn.
Yeah, and that saying has taken you well through your career so far. We have some water, please.
Look. Nah, vodka and orange. Look that. I'm squeezed into this suit. I got this suit fitted about a couple of months ago, and I'm squeezing into it now.
Is this one of the McGregor Augusto?
Yeah, this is an August McGregor line. It looks like the tartan for the Scots. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that. That's why I rocked this one.
Look, you may have bought a suit. Mayweather's put an 8-foot glass picture of you in his new 19 million home in Beverly Hills. Are you going to reciprocate?
I don't know. It's some house. It's some house. What I noticed from it, fair play to him, it's some Porsche, it's a $26 million Beverly Hills mansion. But I'm thinking, that house purchase, the tax bill off this fight, the tax bill off the previous bill, and then his good investments, I could be getting a phone call anytime soon to go again, and I'd fucking love that.
That's not out of the question. There looked like there was a lot of respect between the two of you after the fight, and even in the build-up, you're enjoying yourself. I mean, if you look back at it now, what was the most memorable or enjoyable part of the whole experience, from the deal getting done, to the crazy press tour, to the fight week itself, and the aftermath?
Cashing the check.
Can you tell us what you did clear in the end? There was reportedly 100 million.
Yeah, well, it's around that. We're still in the counting game. Some people are saying it's this, other people are saying it's that. You know, you get your show money, then you go, you gather all the other information, the gate, the pay-per-view, the sponsorship revenue, the merchandise sales. It's my first time as a promoter of an event. So it's my first time kind of diving into all of these things. So I'm building a nice little team of auditors to go in and make sure that all these numbers that people are telling me are correct. So right now we're in the counting game.
Lose, I'm pretty sure he's gonna lose if it happens. The odds are not in his favor. But I believe if he managed maybe to survive, it could be like a win for him, because after he's gonna start talking, he's like, hey, I've stepped into your game, why don't you step into mine right now? So I think it could be a good, it depends what is not only the result of how it's done, you know? So it all depends how the things plays out. I have a friend, a training partner, who's fighting on the card of ACB, and I'm coming to corner him. His name is Yukinori Akazawa. He's from mostly a judo background, and he trained also a few years in karate. And well, he's a young, very promising athlete. He's very good. He migrated to Montreal, Canada to train with us at TriStar Gym. Yeah, so we've been training with each other for a few years now, and he did an amazing. I've heard of ACB before. I saw some fight of ACB before. Yes, of course. It's a major organization, and it's growing very fast. They're all over the world. USA. They came in the United States and in England, and now they're talking about going to Japan. So my friend Yuki is very excited. So it gives him an extra motivation to win his fight.
After the fight, you had some words for Conor McGregor. Of course, you're being asked about him over and over again. Do you think he has anywhere to go, or are you confident that he will be fighting you next?
Check. Straight up, this is chess, man. You got nowhere to go. You're in check. So you need to defend. Don't vacate the thing, because you know what? This isn't about the money fight. What it is about pride, man. You don't want to see me holding your real belt, buddy. So you need to defend it. And if you want, go ahead and just leave it right there. Sit it down and just walk away. Okay? Just sit it down and walk away. Nobody will get hurt.
Do you get the impression that Conor will want a challenging fight like yourself, or that he will walk away from it?
I know Conor. Conor's a gamer. He's an athlete. And as much as I talk and everything else, it would be the most impressive game fight in the world. And I feel that if he wants a game opponent, you can't go to Nate. Nate's not your game opponent. You want a righteous opponent. You want somebody who wants to talk. Look, I say some of my best material. I was quiet this whole entire time, man. I would say some of my best material for you, buddy.
So if you start hearing things about Nate, will you start talking up, or do you feel like you've done the talking, though? That is the talk, right?
This is what it's about. You have an interim title. I'm not hurt. I'm definitely not hurt. They didn't give me any disciplinary, no violation, no nothing. So if I'm not hurt, you need to defend, straight up. So that's in the rule book. UFC, I didn't write it. UFC did.
Dana White has said that.
Conor, you know, but right now I'm not worried about him. Right now I'm worried about just holding this and then showing my baby boy as soon as I get back.
First off, where's the sunglasses at? We all have our sunglasses. We're ready to pop them on, and you're not wearing them right now. Congratulations, brother. We saw you go for a lot of submissions. We're used to seeing you do your dart choke, your head and arm triangle, everything from a front headlock. Is this a part of your arsenal that we haven't really seen you submit from your back?
Absolutely. The game plan was to get him so aggressive that he wanted to use so much energy. He had me pinned up against the cage, which I'm sure a lot of people were unsure of. But I had him in a can opener situation, which I use with a lot of different jiu-jitsu people, which takes a lot of energy out of them. I'm a veteran in the sport. I have a lot of experience. And I had a lot of hay stacked in that barn ready for it to go round 5. And I just kept my composure. And as soon as I felt that submission sink in, whether it was the arm bar, he reversed it. I knew it was going to be there all day. I had my feet on his hips. I just knew he was going to put a lot of forward pressure, and there was the triangle. Listen to the corners, and that was it.
Yeah, well, Tony, first of all, congratulations, man. You know, I always like watching you fight. You went in there, you had a beautiful performance. Early on, you seemed to have your eye was bothering you a little bit. It seemed like you maybe got poked in the eye or hurt with a punch. What was going through your head there, and how bad was it bothering you early in that fight?
I couldn't really see on about this way, about halfway out of my eye. Stuff happens in a fight. I mean, it is what it is. But a lot of experience that I have, I knew how to weather the storm. And he was just going to keep putting forward pressure. I knew he was going to try to take me down. And this isn't wrestling. I don't care about the takedowns. Go ahead and take him down, and you're going to stuff some elbows. You're going to feel everything that I'm going to have in my guard.
Well, Tony, you and I were working together the night you and Kevin kind of kicked off your rivalry here on the air, and you seemed to really be talking to him during the fight as well. How much smack talk, how much of his smack talk maybe bothered you at all before this fight, and what were you saying to him during the fight?
Well, he used all that energy.
Something you're doing, do you take that into consideration throughout your training camp? Do you take time for yourself? Because you seem to be a really, powerfully willed person, and I respect you for that, man. You come in here, you say you're going to get things done. So my hat's off to you, first of all, for for being like that. But how is that in training? What are some of the things that maybe you do that make you so mentally strong when you get into that octagon?
Oh, man. I've mastered the basics. I've definitely mastered the basics. I've taken a lot of time to do that. But I have to do extreme types of things like take an ice bath instead of a crawl.